back to SA Sport. Barry, I love this sport. Table tennis. At some stage in your life, you play a block, don't you?
Everybody plays it,
and you think you're an Olympian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you're.
Yeah.
But Paul, welcome.
Thank you.
Of course, the president of the Brighton Table Tennis Club.
Yes.
Represented South Australia many times,
Yes.
lots of national medals, and you've had a whole life of it. I think you were saying you started when you were 15.
Yes, I started playing competition when I was 15, probably a year or two earlier than that, just starting at the club. So yeah, it's been a long time now.
It's right though, isn't it, mate? Everybody plays it.
Everyone's played.
Good or bad,
Yep.
everybody has a crack
Yep.
at table tennis. There's
I'd
always
be
a
rich.
table tennis table
I'd
somewhere.
be a rich man if I had $1 every time someone said, "Oh, I'd like to challenge you."
Exactly. Or have a crack at you. Yeah, have a little dip at you.
Yeah.
Just about to ask you that, actually.
Yeah.
For a game.
The club's doing fantastically well. We're looking at your members, over 220 members,
Correct.
which is fantastic.
Yep, we've got a lot of members and we cater for a lot of different age groups and different players. I guess some players are interested just playing socially, just for a bit of camaraderie and a bit of fitness.
Yep.
And others are quite competitive and there's pretty serious training that goes on and obviously competitions and tournaments. And recently we just had the national veterans here in Adelaide, which we've got a big contingent in that age group. So
You a veteran?
I'm a veteran, yep.
Yeah.
These days over 30s is veterans, so
Okay,
it's not hard to be a veteran.
Yeah.
Gee, we talked about this last week.
I know,
over 30, didn't
yeah.
we? Yeah, why is that? Why is over 30 a veteran?
Well, I think just generally with table tennis, you've got your juniors that obviously come through, and they have a category called youth, which is up to, so juniors is up to 18,
Yeah.
youth is up to 21,
Yeah.
and then there's this gap where unless you're really elite and you're in the open,
Yeah. Yep.
there's nowhere for you to compete if you're perhaps the next level
okay.
down.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So over 40s was traditionally and above veterans, that goes up to over 80s. But then they threw the over 30s in just to give those players that have sort of coming up somewhere to play that aren't, perhaps the
At
top,
that
the
level.
top echelon.
Yeah.
How did South Australia go in the way of?
Very well.
What were the numbers, in our team?
The tournament for the national veterans, they had 450 competitors from all over Australia and New Zealand. So they were here at the St Clair Rec Centre. And I'm not sure exactly the number of the team. I think South Australia was around the 70 mark players.
Wow. How'd you go?
We did well. Some of our teams did really well. It's different age groups, obviously, play at different levels. So personally, I'm in the over 40s team. So we had a little bit disappointing tournament, me personally anyway, but you can't win every year, so that's okay.
And
we're up against some
you've
quality.
won most years too, by the way.
Yeah,
we've
done pretty well. So there's teams from New Zealand as well, so they're quite strong. And obviously the bigger states like Victoria, New South Wales, and some to a certain extent Queensland are quite tough because they've got a bigger pool of players to come from. But if you looked at the ratio of our players, how our performances, I think we did pretty well.
Paul Langley is a name.
Yes.
Is a table tennis name. It's a good
Yes,
name, and he's involved. Is he
He
involved?
is.
He's involved in your club.
He is. He's a life member of our club.
There you go.
He started off at our club as a junior.
Yeah.
He's now president of Table Tennis SA, and he's a multiple Australian champion. He's a former Olympian.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he was actually in my team for the over 40s this year. And he would be the #1 ranked player in Australia for over 40s.
Well,
So
this has
he's
been a
still
big
going
part of
pretty
your
well.
life, mate, hasn't it? This has been a big part of your life.
Oh,
You're
massive.
president 2012 to today.
Yep.
Still.
Yep.
It's been a big part of your life.
Yep. Look, I started off at the club as a junior, and I've come up through, and I've met my best friends all through the club, and it's a big part of my life. I love the club.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to try and give back a little bit and help run things. And the last few years we've really done well. We've got some grants and been able to develop the club a little bit. We've put a little extension on. We've got some flooring to be upgraded coming up at Christmas, thanks to state government grants. So the club over the last few years has really transformed, and we've gone from about 80 members only a few years ago up to, as you said, over 220.
200.
And junior development's been great, and as well with that, of course, you need coaches.
Correct. We've got a lot of coaches. A number of our coaches are state coaches as well.
Yep.
So we have kids as young as 5 and 6 starting out. Pretty much once you can see over the table, we can start.
Is that right? Yeah.
And we have a tier, I guess, of different coaches that coach at the one-on-one or in a group setting. And then goes through to the higher levels, particularly with the juniors. And then they go through to the state development and state squads as well. But we also have older age groups that get coaching as well. People come and start later in life and they just want to learn how to hold the bat correctly and the correct technique. It helps a lot if you learn that from the start and don't try to do it your own way.
Yeah, that's what I play.
Yeah, I'm around there. And you've got a ladies only Wednesday morning.
Correct. So
why is that a ladies only?
It's been running
what's
for
the story of
about
that?
at least 30 years, that group, and it's mainly older ladies, if they wouldn't mind me saying that.
Yeah.
they just meet and they play a lot of social doubles and have a bit of a chinwag and it's just for the ladies only. So that's something that they enjoy. But we also have a seniors group on Tuesdays and Fridays that play, and that's obviously for any age and any sex. And they get about 60 people on average to a session.
Wow.
Are you finding a lot more youth coming to play table tennis?
We are, and Australia's becoming more of a multicultural country. Table tennis is very much a multicultural sport. So as you said before, everyone has played table tennis in their carport or their shed at home or whatever. But as a competitive sport, it's actually one of the world's most popular played sports. But it's just not that big in Australia. We tend to do outdoor sports like tennis, cricket, football. But particularly in Asia and Europe, there's professional leagues. Their top players are quite well known, famous, millionaire players, and over here it just doesn't get that status.
But it is an all-year-round sport, isn't it?
Correct.
There's no summer and winter break here.
We've got our club rooms are air conditioned, so we can play pretty much all year round. And so as I said before, it's a multicultural sport. So we're getting a lot of the youth and the kids coming through, and a lot of them from non-English speaking backgrounds or other culturally diverse backgrounds. Of course, we've got Australian backgrounds as well. But it's a really good way of these kids making friends with each other and growing up with different cultures and different backgrounds. It's good to see.
Because I reckon there was three companies that I worked for over my time that table tennis, it was full on. It was, it was nasty after work, very nasty. You're lucky to get a bat, but you just waited your turn. And you think, I'm going okay here. Like after a couple of months, I'm starting to win a few games. And then I watched it on TV, like the professionals. You're standing 10 metres back. It's just amazing, your reflexes.
It's not ideal. When you see them back from the table, they're generally on the ropes a little bit. But some players, that's their style of play, to go back and defend and sort of wear the opposition down.
My rallies last about 2 or 3, so I wear them down.
But we also have, like you mentioned about doing it at work, so we have, occasionally we have businesses that will want to organise a staff function and they can come and use the club. And I've done it with my business, and we've had the staff come down, we have a few beers and pizzas and on a night, and then we run a little friendly tournament just to see who would be the workplace champion or something. So it's just good to do it.
So if I wanted to come down, if I wanted to play table tennis, what do I do?
Well, you can contact us through the website or check out what session times are. It's very clear on our website. There are certain days and nights where it's competition, and there's certain days and nights where it's social practice. So probably initially I'd come down on a social practice night. It's $5 for non-members, and you can play all evening. Fantastic. So it's very cheap. We can lend you a bat, or you can bring your own. And then from there, if you're interested in playing a bit of social competition or getting some coaching, just liaise with one of the guys at the club, and they'll put you in the right direction with one of the guys there. But we're a very much an inclusive and welcoming club. As I said, any age, any standard. You've all got to start somewhere. Of
course you do.
True.
And we have people come in and they sort of stand there and go, "Whoa, mate, we're out of our depth a little bit here."
But you build your confidence.
Correct. And that happens every week. We get new players come in and we welcome it. Like that's how everyone started out.
So. Paul, thanks so much for coming in. Mate. And I reckon maybe next year, we do an outside broadcast.
Have a crack.
And me and you onto Paul. See how we go.
Well, what's the point of that? When I go out there and I tear him a new one, but playing table tennis, what is the story there? I mean, people are going to say,
Thank you so much for coming on, Paul. Brilliant. All the very best.